Right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dose for Wednesday, July 15th, the insufferable year that is 2020. So, thank you for joining me this evening. And we were stuck in the drive-through. The dinner that the wife was going to make wasn't thought out. Run out and get some food. And the line, my my middle son loves Arby's, like loves Arby's. So that's what he wanted. So I'm like, okay, we don't really have Arby's that much. We'll go. And the one in Michigan City, the line was literally around the building out to the highway. It took forever. We were in line for very close to half an hour. So did get started a little late tonight for that reason. So today I went and knocked some more doors in the same neighborhood in Long Beach, and for the most part, it was everybody was well, almost everybody was very nice. Uh, the the interesting thing about doing door knocking for those of you who haven't, you walk up to the door. This is the way I personally do it, right? I go up to the door, I ring the doorbell or knock on the door if there's no doorbell, and then I take a number of steps back, enough so that they can open the door. You're much less threatening. You're not right up on the door. Uh, they can see kind of who's there in entirety. My my son went with me in the later part. In the earlier part, Chris Jackson went with me, and they get to see who's there. And luckily, I got a new shirt. I don't know if the lighting's not really great. It was on the thumbnail. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's got it's got the new logo on it. So I was able to get that today, which I was really excited about. I was hoping that they would be in today, and they were. It's Absolute Apparel and Promotions, and they got everything fast, and they even came and delivered it to me. It's purple. I don't know if you can see it in the light. It looks more blue, I would say, in this light for some reason, but it is purple, and I think it looks pretty good. I also got an ash. I will say though, it's in the area that we were. It was hot and it was muggy and sweating. I'm probably gonna have to get an undershirt or something. It's not a good look, right? It's really not. Um, yeah, Chris, see, yeah, nice shirt. Yeah, it was showing up, man. Uh, Not too bad though. This one was a little bit better. I had my other polo on earlier, and that one you just, oof, it shows up right away. I'm gonna probably get an undershirt or something to put under it, so hopefully it has a little bit more of a block. But uh, Chris was with me. We go to one house, right, and of course it's Long Beach, so all the houses. Oops, I don't know if you can really hear me. There we go. All the houses are really nice. Some of them, the landscaping is just absolutely amazing. Right by Hacienda is where we were, uh, over to the east of Hacienda, that neighborhood. And we go, right, the the vast majority of the people are very hesitant, right, when they see a person at their door. Okay, you can see it on their face. Faces tell so much about what a person's thinking, their mood. They come to the door and they're like, "Yeah," and then when you tell them why you're there, uh, their face changes, their body language changes. They're very much, oh, okay, all right, well, thank you for coming out, blah 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 blah, and can I count on your vote in November, blah blah blah. So this one guy, the house that we went to, knocked on the door. Guy answered the door. Everything was fine. Then he goes, Republican or Democrat? And I said, I'm a Republican. And he goes, then I have no use for you. And I'm like, okay. He goes, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. And I'll be honest. I really wanted to engage. I wanted to be like, for what? exactly. Who? Who are you referring to? Nice job lumping everybody in stereotypes. There was so much that I wanted to say, but there's no point, right? There really isn't a point to it. Um, One of the houses that we stopped at, the lady remarked that crime in Michigan City is a real concern for her. She actually commutes back and forth to Chicago using South Shore, and when she comes in at the station at 4:30 in the morning, she she says that it's a definite issue. We've had a couple of issues in very close to that area recently. So it was a major factor for her, uh, the street paving and other things. But her biggest concern was police police patrols, police presence, especially near the train station. So I think that's something that's good to know. Something that I'm going to pass along to the appropriate people. Uh, yeah, Michelle, you're absolutely right. She says that area is scary. I work like 3 minutes from there at U-Haul. Look, there are many areas of Michigan City that are beautiful and amazing and that are just incredible. The area around the train station, in my opinion, is not a great area. We have some real issues with crime in that area. The lady that I spoke to, one of the things she mentioned was that she she doesn't see any police presence when the trains come in, especially the ones that are getting there very late, right? Midnight, 1, 2, 3 a.m. The train schedule is posted. Um, it, yeah, and the wife said it was scary when she did it. And that was several years ago. She commuted back and forth to Chicago via the South Shore, and the train station is not. First of all, that big abandoned, boarded up facade for the old South Shore station on 11th Street is just not a good look. And that was one of my concerns for this double track project and the expansion of it and all of that. And the lady that we spoke to today, she made a really good point. She said, there are some areas for that I believe could definitely benefit from the double track area, right? That it could really save some time. Michigan City, what's it going to change? There doesn't seem to be a congestion issue in Michigan City. Well, I'm worried about the crime by the train. She also said that there are drug smuggling going on in the train, especially at late hours like that. So these are all things that we need to work on. We need to work on them as a community, and as state representative, I will ensure that we get some adequate protection for our people. And the other thing that she said is there's nothing stopping these people who live in Long Beach, right, who pay exorbitant taxes, from taking their money and shopping New Buffalo. And they don't want to do that, right? This lady in particular, she's like, I love Michigan City, right? Family lives here. We've lived here for years. We want to help the economy here, but if these areas are not being cared for, if we can't feel safe, then I guarantee you, New Buffalo will make sure that their tourists and the people who go there to spend money feel safe. So those were the majority of the concerns of the population that I spoke to today. I'll keep you updated with every little neighborhood that we go to as to what they feel are the major concerns for them.
The other thing that I found interesting was there was a gentleman that I spoke to who said he had actually ordered an absentee ballot and it never came in. So I'm going to find out as much as I can about that and look into that for him and see what's going on. If there was some kind of issue that happened, if there's a record, if there's no record, why not, etc. So that's kind of what my day was. But what do you think of the shirt? I like it. This is the new, logo. It matches the one in the upper right corner. And I have regular shirts for volunteers that are going to be getting ordered. If you would like to join the team, I do. Thank you, Michelle. I love it too. I think it looks really good. I also got an ash one, which is gray, but more than one person has said they think that the purple looks better than the ash one does. Where's the other shirt, babe? Can you get it for me? I'm gonna show you. I was just gonna wear it for the next video, but I'm gonna show it to you right now because I really like it. Again, Absolute Apparel is the name. Yeah, Absolute Apparel and Promotions. They are in Valpo. And anyone who would like their information, by all means, I highly recommend them. I got to pick out the shirt. Here's the ash one. I think it pops better. Realistically, I think it pops better on the ash, but it still looks good. Still looks good on the purple. And I think the purple is a better color overall. Thank you. She's all right. I don't care what Donovan says about her. Right? Thank you. I appreciate it. So that's kind of where we're at. I am one of the things that we also talked about with some of the residents in the neighborhood that I was in. See, Jack, that's what I said too. Jack says the ash shows better. That was my
purple,
but
last name Pop.
Yeah, in her mind, the last name pops on the purple background, and that's what's on the ballot. So, yeah. Anyway, one of the other concerns was a lot of tourists come for Blue Chip. Some of the residents, they have family from and other areas that come up for the fireworks that were canceled, but also to go to the casino at Blue Chip, right? And unfortunately, our current state rep voted against our Blue Chip casino. Regardless of how you feel about gambling, it's critical that we protect our current jobs. And allowing a land-based casino right up the road is not going to help to sustain the jobs that we have. And yeah, it is what it is. And Jack, that's a good point. The first thing you see on the purple is, but you know what? That means I'm on it. That's what that means. I am on it. I don't know. I'm trying here, but that's one thing. The other thing is let's bear in mind that we have radicals all across the country that are calling for defunding the police and things like that. And I'm not hearing anything to bring any denials. I'm not hearing any distancing. I'm not hearing anything from our current rep that's like, no, I don't believe in defunding the police. None of that, right? It's crickets and the clink of silverware. So unfortunately, the majority of that party seems to be in favor of defunding the police and putting some requirements on some other stuff that is not in line with what I believe. So, Chris, yeah, the land-based casino isn't fair to Blue Chip, and let's bear in mind that Blue Chip jumped through a massive number of hoops in order to even be able to be here, right? They weren't able to be land-based. Then they had to make a boat that moved. It wasn't allowed to be, free sitting. Then there were changes, and Blue Chip employs a large number of people here in Michigan City, and it contributes positively to the economy here. The reason that we have new police cars, the reason that we have new sidewalks, the reason that we have many of the things in Michigan City that we have is directly due to Blue Chip and the success of Blue Chip Casino. It is what it is. The new hospital that they built, just that hospital employs over 1,000 people. So these are also things that we need to keep track of. There is some legislation that could have potentially been very negative had it not been passed. And it got passed. It's a good thing, but our current state rep voted against it. So these are all things. These are all things that need to be taken into consideration, right? And up a great point. Michelle says defunding the police is not the answer, right? Teaching for officers is what's needed. Look, I agree. If we're going to tackle what people see as the big problem, right? Disparity. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to disparity. It isn't just a racial issue. It is more of an income issue. You have people from poor neighborhoods. I've lived in very, very poor neighborhoods, and I got harassed by the police. You're assumed to be breaking the law because you're poor. And that's an issue, right? At the same time, most crime seems to originate statistically from poor areas. It seems to originate from that because poverty is a root cause of crime. It's one of the root causes. If you're not able to go out and get a good quality job, then what else are you going to do? You have money somehow, right? There are many, many things to talk about there, and we'll get into a deep dive. But you're right, Jack. Many people don't know that Blue Chip actually is a floating boat. And Chris brings up a great point. We should really ask ourselves, if a casino had to be land-based at the time, would Blue Chip even be here? And I don't think so. That was one of the things that I remember when Blue Chip actually was talking about coming here, and all of the area that is now just parking lot. And that was actually a subdivision called, it was actually called Canada, if you don't know. And they started buying up all the houses, and there were those people that were like, I'm going to hold out for as much money as possible. And there were others who were like, I don't even like living there anyway. So thank you very much. I will take the top dollar that you're offering for my house and, move somewhere. But I do remember that there were a lot of to do it that way. And these are all things that contributed to Blue Chip being where it is and all that. And I know that when they were talking about, it's going to be a riverboat, and everybody found out, it's going to be on the lake, right? Well, no, Trail Creek. What? What? So yeah, it was interesting. I still don't quite understand why they didn't make it to where it could go out into Lake Michigan. It seems like it would have been.
They did that in Gary and Hammond.
Yeah, in Gary and Hammond they did that, but it is what it is. So tomorrow, more door knocking, and we're going to learn from people what their issue is in their particular area, and I'll come back and we'll talk about it here. It's good to know what matters to people, but I think it's even more important to understand that we can work together to create solutions, right? Crime's a problem. It is. Now, I am an advocate for PD. I do think overall, Michigan City Police Department does a fantastic job given the breadth of their duties here and all the different demographics and everything that are in play. There's always room for improvement. And one of the, instead of defunding the police, I would like to see more services, more assistance for the police officers. Our police officers they wear so many hats. They are required to do so many different things. And no one can deny there are bad apples, right? But there's so much focus on the one bad apple in the massive bunch that we're forgetting, especially right now, about the many, many, many brave men and women, the vast majority of our police officers that are out there doing their job the best way they know how, coming home from a long day of on the line to defend you, to defend me. And when you see an officer, right, that goes a long way. I have a friend who is LaPorte County Sheriff's Department, and he even says that just here brightens the day, right? We appreciate what you do. We stand behind you. And that doesn't mean turning a blind eye to issues that exist. On the opposite, right? If we understand the majority are good, then it allows us to more easily look into and facilitate real change that in many cases to happen. I would personally love to see more community-based policing, but in order to have that, we're going to need more officers. We're going to need more officers that are able to get out there and learn their neighborhood, that learn the people that are in their area. Michelle, you're absolutely right. One bad apple in the bunch doesn't make the whole bunch bad. And I experienced that as a correctional officer, and I've said this before. It's the rotten ones that make the newspaper. There was one just the other day. As a matter of fact, I saw an article where someone was caught trying to sell phones. Those are the people that make the paper, and it's very easy to assume that all or most or even a large part are like that. And I'm going to tell you, the majority of correctional officers, especially the ones that I worked with, are good people just trying to do a job that most people don't want, most people couldn't handle. And maybe I'll give you a breakdown sometime of how the job actually is. But I appreciate you coming out and joining me. I'm going to try to keep my videos to about this length from now on. Focus on individual issues. We're going to expand on ways that I think positive changes could be made. I'm going to leave you with a question, right? We've seen across the country people asking for more government control over things, more government reach on things. I am in favor of less government, far less government. I think the majority of people are more than capable of managing themselves, their families. Just like Michelle says, one bad apple in the bunch doesn't make the whole bunch bad. The majority of people are good, kind people. If they were not, we would see a lot more bad things going on than we currently do. A few bad examples exist. Yes, there are certain areas of this country that I would not go to unarmed. we live in a very, very good area overall. We have some of the greatest resources that are available to us, and we can make it better. We can work together to improve things, and we can also address the issues that we do have, because we do have issues. Nothing's perfect. So with that, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.